All right, growth can solve our problems, and be careful what you wish for when you're talking about these fiscal issues. Joining me now, Steve Forbes, chair and editor-in-chief of Forbes Media, and John Carney, co-author of the daily Breitbart Business Digest. Welcome, gentlemen. So, John, I'll just start with you. I mean, people are telling me deficits cause rates to go higher. I'm just saying it's the reverse. Deficits are primarily a function of the economy, recession or recovery. And interest rates are if the economy is booming, real interest rates are going to go up. The rate of return on capital goes up, right? If the economy is in the tank, then that goes down. It's nothing. All these models that are accusing higher interest rates or predicting higher interest rates because of deficits are wrong. They're just completely wrong, and they've been always wrong.
They're really wrong, and they get it, and they're pretty toxic to the budget process, because in the end, what they mean is anytime you propose to cut taxes, they will tell you that the deficit is going to rise, that interest rates are going to rise, and therefore the economy will slow. So the end result is they always say the opposite of the truth, which is tax cuts will slow the economy through the mechanism of higher rates. History proves that's completely backwards. And as you said, really a huge part of the deficit going up or down is just a function of whether the economy is growing or not.
That's it.
And in the CBO model, it's backwards. They say that the economy will slow and deficits will rise. It's really the reverse. We saw it just recently during COVID, right? The economy comes to a crash because we lock everything down, so deficits go higher. And that's what happens time and again.
And interest rates plunged.
And interest rates plunged.
And then they started pouring all this money in, and the economy went up, and interest rates went back up. I mean, we've always been. All I'm saying is put that model aside. It's a phony model. Just cut the taxes and deregulate. And a lot of good things are going to happen. Look, you ran for president on the flat tax a couple of times. You were the principal growth proponent running for president. It's the legacy of Jack Kemp. It's the legacy of Ronald Reagan. It's what Donald Trump is trying to do this time around.
And you wrote a book
listen,
on how Kennedy evolved.
Yes.
How to get the economy growing after all the recessions in the 1950s. He came in, and he started with business tax cuts.
Yeah, I know.
Remember the tax cuts?
That's correct. No, you're right. It was a depreciation, bonus credit for depreciation. Then he cut the marginal rates. I'm just saying, let Trump do it again now. Actually, if you listen to Steve Daines in the Senate, they might make the bill even better, because the 100% depreciation, including factories, would kick in right away, not wait 4 years.
And stop this expiration dates like it's milk in a supermarket, for crying out loud, and make it permanent. Doesn't mean you can't change it if circumstances change. And on the whole thing with our blue state friends getting all caught up on SALT, state and local tax deductions. Why don't we discuss this? Why don't you just cut the two rates that affect people most, the 22 and 24, cut it to 15. They end up with more, and they have the incentive to earn more. Good for the economy, instead of raising it 30, 40,000, phasing it out and all that kind of junk. Make it simple and more effective.
Why do I want to give Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, more incentives to raise my taxes?
And give New Yorkers less incentive to vote for Republicans who will lower the taxes, by the way.
I mean, I don't understand the logic of this. John, the other thing is you have the models. They really don't tell us exactly what's in the models. I think that's
secret, and it's a scandal that we can't know, especially because Congress gives so much power to the CBO. They say, well, we can only pass this bill if the CBO scores it a certain way as reducing the deficit over 10 years. It's nuts in a democratic process to have a secret model that you and I can't look at and decide what's wrong with it. Decide the outcome of the legislative process and the tax rates for the United States. They should force the CBO to tell everybody. Let us see it. Let us look. Right now, we're in an age where you can just put this stuff on the internet and we can play with the numbers, see how it works, adjust it. At the very least, they should release 3 different reads under the various assumptions. So the CBO could say, look, under our traditional model, here's where we come. Under a more aggressive model, we think it produces this level of deficit. Under the, we'll call it the Carney, Forbes, Kudlow model, this is where you'd come in. And that would be very useful. Instead, we're being asked to trust what they say rather than be able to evaluate it.
And make it even simpler. Send them on a permanent vacation, say to North Korea, all expenses paid. and bring in people who actually understand the economy.
Well, one thing is, okay, why I'm surprised, and I'm going to I'll talk to Rand Paul about it coming up next, but I think we have to work on this in the next few shows. Why don't they do something about the CBO? You have Republican House, Republican Senate, Republican President. It's obviously time for big changes at the CBO. You should put in people, I'd say, with a different economic model and more transparency. As John says, you could have interactive modeling. We do that with so many other things on the internet. Why not? It's not so much getting rid of the Budget Reform Act of '74 stipulates a congressional budget arm. Okay, fine. But this one has underperformed for a long, long time. So why not make a change? I mean, it should
have been done in the
change.
mid-'90s when we first got control of both the House and the Senate. And then we got a Republican, and it never was done. They sort of just left it there. And it's very anti-democratic. It says, in effect, we don't trust you, and therefore we have to put these limitations in because we don't trust you. They don't trust the people.
One thing, I know it's not the first time I've said this. I do want to know, there is no permanent inspector general at the Federal Reserve Board. It was a temporary hired by, wait for it, Jay Powell. So they're building Taj Mahal on C Street, $2.5 billion. That's not the final, may not be the final number. They are, I believe, $700 million over budget.
They are.
Yep. Their bond portfolio has caused them huge losses in recent years. Their mismanagement of their bond portfolio. They don't have any money to turn over to the Treasury or the taxpayer regarding their profits because they're losing money. How can we let this stand? I'm not even talking about the monetary policy. I'm talking about the management of the Federal Reserve.
And look, they have so many economists on staff. And when you look at the projections based on those economists, they're always wrong. So what are they doing? Why do we have 1,000 PhDs in the Federal Reserve if the policymakers are getting such bad advice that all of their projections are wrong?
Did Elon Musk any of his team go into the Fed?
They tried. The Fed said no, from what I've been told, is that Elon Musk, I advocated putting Doge permanently into that Fed building, like make them share it with Doge. But I think that they were told, just like, by the way, they tried to go into the CBO, and they were told no. The Doge was said, you cannot come in here. And I think the Fed has also said, no, we're independent. We're not going to allow you to come here.
Time for a change of the Fed. They won't let their models be transparent either.
No, because they want to be deities, and they're not.
And that's why they're building a Taj Mahal. That's what
they did it. They always do it. Dallas in the 1980s, depressed real estate market. Plenty of commercial space. They needed more space. What did they do? Build another mini Taj Mahal in Dallas.
I'm telling you, it's simple. I'm getting overheated about it. Cut taxes, grow the economy. Just take a rip. Don't worry about all these little things here and there. Make it as simple as possible.
I think that's right. I think also
flat tax is fine.
What you said is very important. Is we shouldn't worry when you're deciding the tax rate. You should decide what is the right tax rate to grow the economy.
That's right.
Not worry about some 10-year budget projection that you can't know because you don't know what the both exogenous and endogenous influences are going to be. You don't know whether you're going to have a recession, a pandemic, a war. So ignore the 10-year budget window. Figure out what will grow the economy and set your tax rate there.
All right, gentlemen, got to jump out.
Thank you.